speak confidently and still be secretly begging for approval. And people feel it. They may not say it, but they feel when your peace is fake, when your confidence is borrowed, when your smile is hiding insecurity, and when your silence is not calm but fear. The truth is this: you do not become deeply attractive by chasing attention. You become attractive when you stop needing it. Because the most magnetic person in the room is not the loudest, the richest, or the most beautiful. It is the one who cannot be easily shaken. In this speech, you will learn 7 habits that make you mentally strong, emotionally controlled, and quietly magnetic. But be careful. Once you practice these habits, people will notice your energy has changed. Some will respect you. Some will fear losing control over you. And some will disappear. Because your weakness was the only version of you they knew how to use. Before you ask how to become attractive, ask why your presence is so easy to ignore. Because the truth is uncomfortable. Most people do not become unattractive because of their face. They become unattractive because their energy is weak, their mind is noisy, their emotions are uncontrolled, their words are cheap, and their discipline is missing. You can wear beautiful clothes, fix your hair, train your body, buy perfume, jewelry, watches, and expensive shoes, and still walk into a room with the energy of someone begging to be noticed, and everyone feels it. Neediness has a smell. Insecurity has a posture. Weakness has a sound. You may hide it with confidence, but the body tells the truth. Your eyes search too much. Your voice explains too much. Your hands move without calm. Your smile asks for approval. Your silence feels nervous, not powerful. A truly attractive person does not chase attention. A truly strong person does not perform for approval. They enter quietly, but something changes. Not because they are loud, not because they are trying to dominate, but because they carry themselves like someone who has survived storms without becoming bitter. That is rare. And anything rare becomes magnetic. The first habit is this: stop reacting so quickly. Look at yourself honestly. Someone sends a message, you react. Someone does not reply, you react. Someone looks at you strangely, you react. Someone criticizes you, you react. Someone praises you, you react. Your mood is being pulled around like a rope in the hands of strangers. Then you wonder why you feel tired. You are tired because you have given everyone permission to touch your inner world. A mentally strong person creates space between what happens and how they respond. This space is power. In that space, you decide who you are. Without that space, you are just a puppet with a heartbeat. When someone insults you, the weak mind immediately wants to prove. It wants to explain, attack, defend, and correct the image. But the disciplined mind watches the insult like a leaf falling on water. It sees it. It does not become it. It asks, is this true? Is this useful? Is this worth my peace? If the answer is no, it lets it pass. This is not weakness. This is mastery. The strongest person in the room is not the one who can shout the loudest. It is the one who can be provoked and still remain steady. Anyone can be calm in a quiet garden. But can you be calm when someone misunderstands you? Can you be calm when your ego is burning? Can you stay silent when silence protects your dignity more than words ever could? That is attraction. Not the attraction of appearance, but the attraction of control. People feel safe around those who are not controlled by every storm. They feel something solid, deep, and rare. Every time you react instantly, you teach people that they can control you. Every time you pause, you remind yourself that you belong to yourself. The second habit is this: stop explaining your value to people who are committed to not seeing it. This is where many people lose their dignity. They talk too much. They justify too much. They try to convince people who have already decided not to understand them. They write long messages. They repeat their intentions. They beg for fairness. They say, please understand me, to people who benefit from misunderstanding them. Listen carefully. When you keep explaining yourself to someone determined to reduce you, you are not proving your worth. You are lowering your price. A diamond does not argue with the person who calls it a stone. A mountain does not kneel because a blind man cannot see its height. The sun does not become insecure because someone closes the window. You must know when words are becoming waste. Mentally strong people speak with clarity, then they stop. They do not chase. They do not overperform. They do not keep placing their heart in front of people who keep stepping on it. They understand that some people do not want truth. They want control. Some people do not want peace. They want access to your reaction. Some people do not want understanding. They want you exhausted enough to obey. The attractive person has boundaries. And boundaries are not walls built from anger. Boundaries are doors with locks. The right people enter with respect. The wrong people stay outside with their opinions. You become powerful when you no longer need every person to have the correct version of your story. This is difficult because the ego wants justice immediately. The ego wants every rumor corrected, every insult answered, every accusation destroyed. But life is not a courtroom where everyone gets to hear your evidence. Sometimes the highest discipline is letting people think what they want while you continue becoming what they cannot stop. You should correct what must be corrected. You should speak when silence would harm truth. But you must stop bleeding energy into people who only become alive when you are disturbed. There is a quiet type of attractiveness that appears when a person no longer begs to be believed. Their eyes become calmer, their speech becomes cleaner, their movements become slower, their energy becomes expansive. They no longer throw themselves into every conversation like a coin into a crowd. When you stop explaining your value, you begin living it. And lived value is stronger than spoken value. The third habit is this: train your body not for attention, but for self-respect. Many people train their body because they hate themselves. They look in the mirror and punish what they see. They chase a shape, a number, a reaction, a compliment. They want the world to look at them and say, now you are enough. But this kind of training creates a body that looks strong and a mind that remains weak. Real discipline begins differently. You train because your body is the first home your spirit lives in. If the home is neglected, the mind becomes heavy. If the body is lazy, the will becomes soft. If the breath is shallow, the thoughts become wild. Do not train only to look attractive. Train so laziness no longer owns you. Wake up when you said you would wake up. Move when your mind says stay still. Walk when your emotions want you to collapse. Stretch when your body has become stiff from comfort. Sweat when your excuses are loud. This is how you begin to trust yourself again. Confidence does not come from repeating, I am confident. Confidence comes from keeping promises to yourself when nobody is watching. When you say, tomorrow I will begin, and tomorrow comes, and you begin. Something inside you stands taller. When you say, I will not eat like I have no respect for my future, and you follow through, something inside you becomes sharper. When you train, even though you do not feel like it, you are not only building muscle, you are building evidence. Your mind believes evidence. This is why many people feel insecure. They have no evidence that they can trust themselves. They have broken too many inner promises. They have abandoned themselves too many times. They have chosen comfort so often that discomfort now feels like danger. But discomfort is not danger. Discomfort is the door. Every attractive person you admire has walked through that door again and again. You do not need to destroy your body. You need to respect it. You need rhythm. You need consistency. You need enough discipline that your body understands. This person is not a slave to mood. There is something magnetic about a person who moves with control. They do not need to show everything. Their posture speaks. Their breath speaks. Their calm face speaks. Their body says, I have met resistance before. And when the body carries that message, people feel it before you open your mouth. The fourth habit is this: become rare with your words. Most people are not unattractive because they have nothing to say. They are unattractive because they say too much too soon to too many people. They reveal every emotion. They expose every plan. They announce every dream. They complain about every problem. They gossip about every person. They turn their mouth into an open market where anyone can walk in and take something. Your words are energy. When you spend them carelessly, your presence becomes cheap. A mentally strong person does not speak to fill silence. They speak to create clarity. They do not use words to escape themselves. They use words as tools. A tool must be sharp. A tool must be used with intention. If you swing it everywhere, you injure what you should protect. Before you speak, ask 3 questions. Is it true? Is it necessary? Is it coming from strength or insecurity? Many things are true but not necessary. Many things are necessary but said from weakness. Many things are said only because the ego wants to be seen as clever, right, superior, wounded, special, or innocent. Watch your conversations for one day. You will see how much of your speech is used to protect an image. You explain to look good. You joke to hide pain. You gossip to feel included. You complain to receive sympathy. You exaggerate to feel important. You interrupt because you fear being invisible. This is not freedom. This is slavery wearing the mask of personality. The attractive person listens differently. Their silence is not empty. Their silence has weight. When they listen, they are present. They are not waiting only for their turn to speak. They are not searching for a way to make the conversation about themselves. They are actually there. And because this is rare, people feel seen around them. But understand this clearly. Being a good listener does not mean becoming a dustbin for everyone's emotional garbage. Some people do not want connection. They want drainage. They will pour their chaos into you and call it friendship. They will mistake your patience for permission. They will keep bringing the same problem, not because they want a solution, but because they want company in their weakness. Listen with compassion, but do not become a home for endless negativity. Choose your words. Choose your silence. Choose who gets access to the deeper rooms of your mind. Not everyone who knocks deserves entry. Not everyone who asks deserves the full story. Not everyone who smiles deserves your secrets. A person who speaks less but speaks with depth becomes memorable. A person who talks constantly becomes background noise. The 5th habit is this: master your attention. This is the hidden battle almost everyone is losing. You say you want to become strong, but your attention is being eaten from morning until night. You wake up and reach for your phone before you reach for your own mind. You give your first breath to other people's lives. You allow strangers to decide your emotions before your feet touch the ground. You scroll through beauty, success, anger, gossip, fear, desire, and comparison. And then you wonder why your mind feels polluted. What you look at every day becomes the shape of your inner world. If you feed your mind with distraction, you will not have focus. If you feed your mind with comparison, you will not have peace. If you feed your mind with cheap pleasure, you will not have depth. If you feed your mind with outrage, you will not have wisdom. Attention is life. Wherever your attention goes, your life slowly follows. The mentally strong person protects attention like a sacred flame. They know the world is designed to steal it. Every app wants your mind. Every advertisement wants your desire. Every argument wants your reaction. Every trend wants your obedience. Every screen wants to train you to become impatient with reality. That is why many people can no longer sit quietly. Silence feels unbearable because it reveals the damage, the loneliness, the insecurity, the unfinished work, the fear of being ordinary, the grief, the guilt, the hunger for meaning. So people escape again. More scrolling, more talking, more eating, more buying, more chasing, more noise. But a person who can sit with themselves becomes dangerous in the best way. They are no longer easy to manipulate. They are no longer hungry for every notification. They are no longer addicted to being entertained. They can focus long enough to become excellent. They can remain still long enough to hear truth. They can walk alone without feeling abandoned. This makes them attractive because they are not scattered. Their energy is collected. Their eyes are not desperate. Their presence is not fragmented. They are not everywhere. They are here. You must build the habit of single attention. When you eat, eat. When you walk, walk. When you speak, speak. When you work, work. When you rest, rest. When you love, love. Stop bringing your divided mind into every moment and then complaining that life feels empty. Life does not feel empty because it is empty. It feels empty because you are never fully inside it. The sixth habit is this: stop needing comfort all the time. Comfort is a beautiful servant, but a dangerous master. When comfort becomes your master, your strength begins to rot quietly. Look around. Many people are not destroyed by tragedy. They are weakened by convenience. They cannot wait. They cannot endure boredom. They cannot tolerate criticism. They cannot handle rejection. They cannot finish difficult tasks. They cannot stay consistent. They cannot sit with discomfort. They cannot be alone. They cannot hear no. They cannot lose without collapsing. And yet they want a powerful life. This is childish. A powerful life requires a powerful nervous system. A powerful nervous system is built by doing difficult things without running away every time the mind complains. Take a cold moment and breathe through it. Take a difficult task and finish it. Take criticism and examine it before defending yourself. Take loneliness and use it to meet yourself. Take rejection and let it sharpen your direction. Take failure and study it like a teacher. Take uncertainty and walk anyway. This is how weakness leaves the body. Attractive people are not attractive because life is easy for them. They become attractive because they do not collapse every time life becomes heavy. They have learned how to carry weight without making everyone else responsible for it. This does not mean pretending you never hurt. That is not strength, that is performance. Real strength is feeling pain without turning it into poison. Real strength is admitting difficulty without worshipping it. Real strength is saying, this is hard, and still choosing the next right action. Some people make their wounds their whole identity. They introduce themselves through what hurt them. They use pain as permission to remain small. They say, because this happened, I cannot become more. But if you build a temple around your wound, do not be surprised when your life becomes a place of worship for suffering. Your pain deserves respect, but it does not deserve the steering wheel. A mentally strong person does not deny pain. They train with it. They learn from it. They let it carve depth into them. but they do not let it turn them into someone cruel, bitter, lazy, or endlessly dramatic. The world is full of people who want to be understood but refuse to become disciplined. They want healing without responsibility. They want confidence without courage. They want respect without self-control. They want attraction without inner cleanliness. No, life does not work that way. If you want to become attractive, stop making comfort your God. Do something every day that reminds your weakness it is not in charge. The seventh habit is this: become loyal to your purpose, not your mood. This is where ordinary people separate from the rare ones. Mood is unstable. Mood changes with weather, sleep, hunger, messages, compliments, memories, music, and the opinions of people who do not even know themselves. If your life is built on mood, your life will have no direction. One day you are motivated. The next day you are empty. One day you are disciplined. The next day you disappear. One day you want greatness. The next day you want only comfort. And then you call this being human. No, this is being untrained. A trained person does not wait for mood. They create structure. They create rituals. They create non-negotiables. They decide who they are before the day begins. So the day does not decide for them. You must stop asking, do I feel like doing this? That question has destroyed more futures than failure ever has. Feelings are real, but they are not always wise. Feelings are visitors. Purpose must be the house. When you are tired, purpose says, do a smaller version, but do not disappear. When you are afraid, purpose says, take one step, but do not freeze. When you are praised, purpose says, stay humble, work continues. When you are criticized, purpose says, learn what is useful, release what is poison. When you are lonely, purpose says, do not betray yourself for temporary warmth. When you are tempted, purpose says, remember the life you said you wanted. This loyalty creates a force around you. People can sense when someone has direction. They may not understand your path, but they feel that you are not available for every distraction. You do not need to announce it. Your choices announce it. Your schedule announces it. Your body announces it. Your eyes announce it. Your refusal announces it. And refusal is important. You cannot become attractive and mentally strong if you are available to everything. Every invitation, every argument, every desire, every lazy impulse, every person who wants your time, every old habit that calls your name. You must learn to say no without writing a speech. No to people who drain you. No to habits that shrink you. No to entertainment that empties you. No to conversations that pollute you. No to love that requires you to abandon yourself. No to comfort that steals your future. A weak person says yes because they fear rejection. A strong person says no because they fear self-betrayal more. This is the deeper attractiveness most people never understand. They think attraction is about being wanted, but the highest attraction comes from not being easily available. Not because you are arrogant, not because you are playing games, but because your life has a center. And when your life has a center, people feel that they cannot pull you in every direction. You become grounded. And a grounded person is rare. Now look at these 7 habits together. Not reacting quickly, not explaining your value to blind eyes, training the body with respect, speaking with intention, protecting attention, choosing discomfort, staying loyal to purpose over mood. None of these habits are glamorous. None of them are easy to post as a beautiful picture and receive applause. They are quiet, they are repetitive, they are often invisible, but this is exactly why they work. The strongest things in life grow beneath the surface before anyone sees them. A tree does not become tall because it wishes to touch the sky. It becomes tall because its roots go deep into darkness. Everyone admires the branches. Few respect the roots. But without the roots, the branches are only decoration waiting to fall. You want people to notice your branches, your face, your style, your success, your charm, your voice, your presence. But your roots are weak, your discipline is weak, your silence is weak, your emotional control is weak, your attention is weak, your self-respect is weak. And then you wonder why attraction does not last. Attraction without depth becomes entertainment. Strength without discipline becomes aggression. Confidence without humility becomes arrogance. Beauty without peace becomes exhausting. Intelligence without self-control becomes dangerous. Love without boundaries becomes slavery. So stop trying to look powerful and start becoming difficult to disturb. This is the real path. When you become difficult to disturb, your face changes. The same face but different energy. Your eyes no longer search for approval. Your shoulders no longer carry invisible apologies. Your voice no longer shakes from the need to be accepted. Your smile no longer begs. Your silence no longer feels awkward. Your presence no longer asks, "Am I enough?" It says, "I am here." Do you understand how rare that is? Most people walk into rooms asking invisible questions. Do they like me? Do I look good? Am I impressive? Am I behind? Am I better than them? Am I worse? Should I speak? Should I hide? Should I prove? Should I please? Their body is in the room, but their mind is on trial. The mentally strong person is not on trial. They are observing. They are present. They do not need to win the room because they are not at war with themselves. This inner peace does not make you passive. It makes you precise. You stop wasting energy on temporary opinions, old arguments, empty attention, and people who only feel powerful when you feel confused. You stop calling chaos passion. You stop calling attachment love. You stop calling overthinking intelligence. You stop calling avoidance peace. You begin to see clearly. And clarity is attractive because most people live in fog. They do not know what they want, so they copy desire. They do not know who they are, so they borrow identity. They do not know where they are going, so they follow noise. But when a person has direction, even their silence has authority. This is not magic, this is training. One calm response, one kept promise,